Hey Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches, and I'm back this week to share with you what I've been up to this week and some upcoming plans. So last week when I left you, I had picked up last year's whip, which is Rose Quaker. I had started this as a stitch along, a Quakers Stitch along with my friends Mary, Natasha, and Donna last year. And we had a couple of virtual stitches where we worked on this and started this together. And when I showed you last week, I had this piece, this motif partially stitched, this one and this one completed, and I have finished all those others this past week. I've made a lot of progress. I'm very happy with that progress because I love this piece. I'm hoping to stick with it, meaning I would like to remain a monogamous stitcher until I can get this piece completed. I've got a long way to go. But this is just such a beautiful sampler. Pink is my favorite color. My favorite colors to pair pink with are browns and olive greens. And this is just me all over. It's just me. And I love it. So I'm hoping to finish this up. I am overwhelmed with my whips and with Sal's from last year. And so a lot of people are talking about their Stitch 9 challenge, which was initiated last year by Michelle Rudy, Farm Girl Stitcher. And I jumped on that train with everyone, and I finished about half of the pieces that I had committed myself to. And I think last year I just bought more. Market was just a wonderful market last year. It just seemed like I wanted everything. I bought a lot of patterns. I didn't stitch many of them or even start many of them. I do have a lot of starts or whips, but that's because I had joined the Stitch 9 challenge, not Stitch 9, Mania 2018. And I did it the first year of Stitch Mania. And so I still have projects from that first Stitch Mania. And I just need to narrow those numbers down. I have more things on the go than I have ever had in my entire stitchy life. And sometimes it doesn't bother me, and other times it makes my eye twitch when I look at the tote full of project bags of things that I've started. So my plan this year is not to join the Sal's. I don't want to cage myself in. I tend to cage myself in. And I do this for pleasure. I have to follow the rules in my everyday life, in my work life. This is supposed to be for pleasure. So this year, I guess my motto is going to be stitching for pleasure. I don't want to rope myself or cage myself in with stitch alongs. And so wherever, I'm going to float on the wind like a feather. And wherever that feather lands is what I'm going to stitch on. I'm hoping to get some of my whips down, but if I decide I want to start something that come out at market this year or last year, I want to not feel like I can't because I've got to get these whips down. So I want to enjoy it. It's all about enjoying my stitch journey this year. So that's going to be my motto, stitching for pleasure. Last week, I shared with you the Words of Praise sampler, and I'm going to announce that winner. I have not notified the winner on last week's video, but I will after I finish this one. And it is Carol Taylor. So Carol, I will leave my email address below, so if you'll reach out to me and give me your address, I'll get that out to you in the mail this coming week. I also shared with you shared with you the finished sampler, and I don't think that was the last one I finished last year. It was this one. This is a JVW Designs. It is stitched with DMC 115. It's on 32 count. It's stitched with one thread, not two. So this is a beautiful piece. I've not ironed it, so she's not presentable, but I'm presenting her anyway. And I enjoyed this. So this is something I stitched last year after I learned the law. that you have to have a red sampler on the go all the time. So this was my first and only red sampler last year. And watching the serial starter, and Brenda, I did a lot of Flosstube watching this past week. I caught up with, because I've not been watching Flosstube. It's hard to be enabled so much when you can't even stitch. So I'm 3 months behind, 3.5 months behind. So I caught up with Emily of Eclectic Possessions and Carol and the Serial Starter. I caught up with, or I'm still catching up with Teresa Kitten Stitcher. I watched a couple of new to me Flosstubers. I've watched a lot. I can't even. Those are the main ones. Jen from Quakers and Stitches, and Lisa Kindred Stitcher. And speaking of Lisa, this week I want to offer another giveaway. Last year I bought a few of her bags, and she very graciously gifted me with a bag that I could give away to my watchers. So this is a Kindred Stitcher's bag, and you can see she gifted it to me in October, and it has the cutest little zipper pull. And let me show you the inside. Isn't that cute? And I do love it, but I wanted to share it. So she had left it up to me whether I wanted to keep it or share it. And I want to share it with all of you. So this week, if you're interested in this bag, just share with me. If you've not watched Lisa Kindred Stitcher, I'm going to link her below, and I'd like you to go watch her, at least one of her videos. And mention in the comments one of your favorite things that she stitches. She is currently stitching or has finished this past year. So go watch Lisa. Or if you have recently watched and you're interested in this, make sure you comment about something that she is currently working on or recently finished. What else? Watching Flosstube this week, I have made a couple of purchases. I've got some things coming in this next week, and the ones that have so influenced me this week and the things that I have purchased is Brenda and Laura of Brenda and the Serial Starter. So they showed this on one of their videos that I watched, and remember I'm binge watching, so I can't tell you which one it's on, but it's this, and it is by Artist Designs. It's on Amazon, and it has several cute little needle books and small patterns, some punch needle patterns, but there is a sampler in here that is from an antique sampler, and it's kind of Valentine themed, so Love and Virtue. And I can't show you much more than that because it's showing the pattern, but the pattern is color, and it is large enough that you can see. It's well done, but like I showed you, this is the original, so the pattern is based off of this. So I wanted to bring that to anyone's attention that may not have seen it on their videos, but I got this in today, and I'm expecting another shipment this coming week, so there's that. Also, I want to remind everyone again, I've had some people reach out to me and said that they did go on 123 Stitch and they were able to get a copy of Charity for All. And this is by Erica Michaels, Linda Stoltz. And I read the email that she sent last week. She has re-released this pattern. It was out of print. And when I showed it on my video back in August or September, there was a large response. So we reached out to Linda. She let me know it wasn't in print, but she sent me an email around a month ago letting me know that it was being re-released. It was going to hit the shops at the middle of January for those that were interested, to not to reach out to her, but to reach out to their local shops, letting them know of the interest so they could get the pattern in. And Here it is. So several of you have already, put this in your cart on 1, 2, 3. And I would ask you to do one more thing. Just pop over to Linda's Facebook page for Erica Michaels and thank her for doing that, because it really, it does benefit her, because there was a response, but at the same time, she didn't have to do that. She did that for us because we were interested, and she listened to us. And I want to make sure she understands that we do appreciate that, because there were lots of you that wanted. It's so hard sometimes to watch some of the floss tubes of stitchers that have been stitching for several years that show patterns that we just can't get or we can't find. And if we find them, they're $50, $60. So when you have a designer that's willing to listen to their customers and make the effort and take the time to answer to us, I just think she deserves a thank you. So if you're so inclined, I will try to link her Facebook page below and just let her know you appreciate it, because I know that I certainly do. What else do I have? I think that's all I have for this week. I'm going to continue to stitch for pleasure. So I plan to work on my rose sampler, like I said, at this moment. My goal is to continue working on it and to be monogamous with it. And as soon as I stop this video, I'm going to sit back and put my legs up and I'm going to stitch some more. So I hope everyone has a wonderful week this week. Thank you all for the kind comments from last week. Thanks to those that submitted for the giveaway. I appreciate that. For the new subscribers, I had a lot this past week, so thank you for that. And I want to thank the other floss tubers for taking the time to make these videos. I spent a good bit of this past week watching you all, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of those videos, just like everyone else does. So I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy week and out of your lives to make those videos, because they mean a lot to me too. So until next week, happy stitching, and everyone just stitch for pleasure. Bye bye.